You know, we talk a lot about the convergence of IT and AV, but it's often pretty abstract.
Yeah, it's all high-level theory.
Exactly. So today, we're getting specific. We're looking at a piece of hardware that really feels like the end of an era for the old, dedicated video matrix.
We are. We're digging into the Kramer KDS-SW2-EN7, and yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, that model number.
A little bit, yeah.
But the device itself and the mission here is really simple. Stop treating video like some separate, messy utility and start treating it just like data on your network.
And we're not talking about some proprietary heavy-duty cabling. This just sits on a standard 1G network.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
And that's the friction point for so many legacy installs.
Yeah.
People are used to running dedicated HDMI or HDBaseT. This says, no, just give me a cat cable and a switch.
So it's built for those bigger environments, corporate offices, control rooms.
Exactly. Places where running point-to-point cables just hits a physical and, frankly, a financial wall.
Okay, so let's start at the desk with the user experience. You've got both HDMI and USB-C inputs.
Right. And that USB-C is key. It handles power delivery.
So it's charging the laptop at the same time it's sending video, solving that whole my battery is about to die mid-presentation anxiety.
It does. It's pretty much table stakes for any modern conference room now. No more diving under the table looking for an outlet. It just works.
And what about that auto switch feature? Because, those can be a bit hit or miss on cheaper units.
For sure. But this one's aggressive. It detects the active source automatically, but the really impressive spec is the switching time.
How fast is it?
It's about 1 second, instantaneous.
Mm-hmm.
In the world of IP video, where you sometimes get that lag or buffering, 1 second is incredibly fast.
Okay, so that's the front end. That brings us to the back end, which I think is where this thing really stands out. You said it runs on a 1G network.
Yep, just the existing 1G backbone.
So you're not telling people they need to rip and replace everything for a 10G infrastructure.
Exactly. And because you're not limited by physical ports on a matrix switcher,
Yeah.
the scalability is just, well, it's massive. We're talking support for up to 999 channels.
Wait, 999?
999, yeah.
That's not a conference room anymore. That's an entire campus or a stadium.
Precisely. And it's not just single screens either. The system can handle video wall configurations up to 16 by 16.
Wow. But managing that many endpoints sounds like a nightmare.
It would be. Which brings us to the KM roaming feature.
Right, I wanted to ask about that. So KVM keyboard, video, mouse is pretty standard. But what does the roaming part mean here?
So imagine you're in a control room with, say, 8 different displays in front of you. Instead of 8 keyboards, KM roaming lets you use 1 mouse and keyboard to control all of them.
You just move the mouse from one screen to the next.
You just move it across. Plus, it has a searchable on-screen display menu, the OSD.
Which is critical. If you have 999 potential sources, you can't just scroll through them one by one.
No way. You need to be able to search. It makes all that complexity completely invisible to the operator. Now, for the integrators and IT managers listening, let's talk deployment. Power and protocols. I see it's running on standard PoE.
Mm-hmm. And it's super efficient. It only draws about 6 watts.
6 watts is nothing. So you aren't blowing your power budget just to get video across the building.
Right. And it simplifies the install. But beyond power, it's about control. Kramer included a standard P3K open API.
So it plays nice with third-party control systems like Crestron or AMX.
For any custom dashboard or building management system you've got, you're not locked into a proprietary ecosystem.
And security. That's the first question IT will ask.
It has to be enterprise grade, and it is. Kramer really emphasizes robust security so your video stream doesn't become a vulnerability on the network.
And connecting the tech to the people buying it, this is available through HDTV supply. They've been in the game for a while, right?
Yeah, I'm about 25 years. And, when you're deploying hardware at this scale, that vendor relationship matters just as much as the spec sheet.
You need to know there's a human you can call.
You do. And I actually saw a customer review that specifically highlighted the VP of Operations by name Rachel Christian. You don't see that every day. A VP getting a shout out in a product review.
No, you don't. And it just speaks to that level of support. It's not just add to cart. For a big rollout, that's a huge reliability factor.
So to sort of wrap this all up, we have a device that bridges user convenience, like the USB-C charging and fast switching, with this massive IT scalability, almost 1,000 channels, API integration, the works.
It really just turns complex AV distribution into a standardized, manageable network service.
It feels like we're watching AV as a distinct field just dissolve into the broader IT cloud.
I think that's inevitable. And it leaves you with a really provocative thought, doesn't it? As AV becomes purely data on a network, are we going to stop thinking about rooms and cables at all?
How do you mean?
Well, will we eventually start viewing every single screen in a building, not as a TV or a monitor, but as just another dynamic window into a single, shared digital cloud?
A single digital cloud. That is a fascinating future to look forward to. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Always a pleasure.